Here we go. We're rolling. This is it. Episode 424, No Laugh Track Podcast. My name is Justin Severson, the host. Look, I'm looking at my paper like I have to read my name each week. I actually know it off the top of my head. Adrienne Iapalucci is here with me for the second time.
Second time,
episode 424. We are here. Adrienne, thank you for coming over here.
Thank you for having me.
Hanging out today. I've been saying this a lot. We're on a really good streak here of... Acme, of course, we're on a good streak. But I've been getting so excited for the people coming back to talk to again. I've only talked to you once.
Yes.
I thought it went really well the first time. I'm a fan, so I'm excited that we get to do this again.
It was fun.
I came to the show last night, just like I did last time you were here on a Wednesday night and saw the show. So we're definitely going to talk about that. First thing I'm going to say to you, though, is something that happened to me in the last 24 hours that I've heard you talk about when things get scheduled in the morning and how much anxiety that leads to.
Yeah.
Right?
Especially if it's really early and then you can't fall asleep and then you start looking at the clock and then you just kind of stay up all night.
Yeah.
Did you have something early this morning?
Well, I'm on a schedule of getting my hair cut like every 6 weeks or something. It didn't work out last weekend, so I was trying. The only time that the woman I go to was available was going to be at 9:30 this morning, which isn't crazy early.
Yeah.
But when I scheduled it, when I hit the thing and scheduled it last weekend, I was like, no, this is it. I got to do it, get it done. As this week has been going on, I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't want to get up right away and go get a haircut. I can't do it. So last night I canceled it. Complete relief.
Yeah, you probably slept so much better.
Yes.
Are you going to get your hair cut another time?
I am. I found a different day that'll it'll be within the next week. So.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, early stuff in the morning freaks me out. Because if I don't get to sleep by a certain time, then I have to just stay up.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, is she like, a haircut's not as like, not going in for surgery or anything. But I'm not always at like my best in the first couple hours. Like, we got to get going here.
Absolutely.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you have no fear. If you come here again, this podcast will not ever be scheduled.
In the morning.
At 8, 9, 10.
Thank God.
Not happening.
No.
I let
Too
everybody
early.
you at least get a lunch in before we do it here. So I got to ask you real quickly before you went on stage last night about how much you've been working recently.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not as much as you want, or how have things been going since? Weird. We're in such a weird place right now where like we thought a pandemic was ending, and now I don't know what to say about that.
I don't know if it's restarting back up with the Delta variant.
Yeah.
I have been working a lot, especially in New York. Everything's pretty much open.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have no idea what's going to happen. And then, did you see that article about Spirit Airlines and American Airlines that they had to cancel a ton of flights?
Yes, I did.
And they didn't say it was because of the numbers coming back. They gave kind of a couple different reasons. They said that they're short-staffed.
I saw that.
And then there was, I think, in Texas, really bad weather.
Yeah.
So they had and then they were like scheduling stuff. So I don't know what's going on with that. But it just makes you think back to last year when like everything started shutting down. And I remember that I had been traveling right up until like 2 days before everything closed.
Okay.
So it's just weird where you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. So I listened, like I told you, I listened back to when we did this. Actually, we're almost 2 years to the date.
It is the same week.
Yeah,
it is. Because it came up in my memories on Facebook. I think I was like, oh, that's so weird. It's the same week, just 2 years later. Yeah.
And the first, I guess we could say the first week of August, 2019. So I listened back to that. And one of the things that we mentioned when we were doing that is you had an upcoming, the Impractical Jokers cruise.
Yes.
Was on your schedule already.
Yeah, that was on my schedule.
For 2020.
2020.
So it did happen.
It did happen, but I think now how crazy we were all to just go do it.
Yeah, was it in the when was it? January?
It was February. It was
year.
February, I think 12th through the 17th, something like that.
Okay.
And I remember asking my doctor, I was like, "Is this crazy to go do?" And he was like, "Well, the numbers are really high in Italy and on the West Coast." He's like, "I think you'll be all right." But he's like, "I don't know." He was like, "I had a patient come in that was like, I'm going to Italy for vacation." He was like, "Cancel it. You should not go there." It's just weird because anytime we've had, like SARS or, any of the other viruses, it was just kind of like it never touched anyone I knew, and it never affected us. So I thought it was going to be the same thing.
It was like a thing that we could like very easily joke about because it wasn't touching anywhere near here.
No, so I went on that cruise and it was fine, but everyone was like making people like spray their hands, and there was one guy that died.
Wait, what?
The first night somebody died. They didn't tell us from what. And
on the cruise?
On the cruise, and we had to go back to Miami that night. So like we were, I guess, however far we were out into the water, and then we went all the way back.
I guess that's better than, well, we got to finish the trip.
Well, I don't know what he died from. I can't imagine it was COVID because nobody else got COVID on the, I don't know.
Yeah.
It is crazy that we all just went and we were like, okay, I guess this is fine.
Yeah. Sort of like it ended up being kind of a last party for most of the year, I would assume.
I don't know, but I was traveling like up until that same week. I went out with Louie and we were in theaters. And then by the end of the tour, I think we were in Albany and there were like seats empty. And it was definitely because of COVID.
Yeah. I
was like, oh, this is getting kind of real. And then I did like one more spot at the Cellar. And then I think that was it.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go to Indianapolis that weekend and everything just started shutting down.
It was so crazy. I mean, it's sort of, I don't want to predict, but I mean, every day now every hour now it's a new announcement about something that has a new restriction or closing down or.
Yeah, it seems like slowly everything's happening, but I can't imagine that we can afford to shut down cities again. Like, I don't know if New York can afford it.
Right.
Because like New York, a lot of places are shut down. You know, just like they went out of business or they, closed down or whatever. So I can't imagine New York City can go through that again. It would be interesting to me to see, but
have you been traveling around New York since they've announced this? You have to show your immunization everywhere. I suppose that just happened. I guess in the last few days. So you haven't dealt with that yet.
No, I mean I'm vaccinated anyway, so I haven't. I mean all the clubs that I work at know that I'm vaccinated, and I've sent proof in, so I haven't really been asked for it. But
clubs have asked. Or they just know?
One club had asked people to send in their vaccinations just to make sure that they had it, I guess, on file.
Sure. Oh, I suppose. There's probably some sort of liability with that.
Maybe.
Yeah, who knows? I want to ask a little bit more about that cruise.
Sure.
How did it live up to the expectation? Like, we'll just forget about that there was a beginning of a pandemic going on right there.
Yeah.
But just like a comedy cruise in general. Like, did it live up to what you thought? What were your expectations versus what happened?
I've never been on a cruise before, so I guess I was expecting, I don't know, it's just, everyone is just obsessed with Impractical Jokers. So, like, the shows were, like, fun, but nobody really cared. Like, they just wanted to see the Impractical Jokers.
It's a lot about just getting close to them, right?
Yeah, and, like, most shows were pretty fun, but all those people really care about us seeing them.
Yeah.
It was interesting because, like, there's not that many pools, and the pools were just, like, swamped with people grinding on each other, and you're like, I'm not even going anywhere near that. So like it wasn't really very relaxing. Like, you weren't going to go out and just kind of take the sun and stuff because it's just a bunch of people that want to see the Jokers.
Yeah, and you mentioned that there may be kids. Did there end up being? Did families show up to this thing?
Yeah, there were some kids. I don't remember a ton of kids, but there was definitely some.
They kept them away.
No, I guess the Jokers are pretty TV like family friendly, so that makes sense that kids would want to go. But there weren't a lot of kids.
Yeah. How was this how did you perform, like outside on the cruise, inside?
They were inside shows, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
And they were all on different like locations. I remember the first show was kind of like in a hallway, and then there were people like up top who were at a restaurant. The first show was just probably the worst.
Oh,
it was just not planned well because it's like people are passing through to go gamble, and then there's like a second tier where people are eating, but all the other shows are really good. That show is just kind of I guess the first one was just kind of like, I don't know, not planned that great.
Sure. So what if the Iapalucci family reunion was going to happen on a cruise? And somebody's like, we're all getting together. Are you in? Or are you like,
I mean, I have like 4 people in my family. So to go on a cruise would probably be great because we'd have just like half the boat to ourselves. So that I would be in for that.
You'd be in for that.
Yeah, we have a very small family. Everyone's dead.
Oh,
Sorry, everyone is dead. What do you want me to say?
The truth.
So I would definitely go on that cruise.
Fair enough. So let's talk about last night.
Sure.
Fantastic show, of course.
Oh, thank you.
You did about 50 minutes, I think?
I think it was around 50.
I glanced at the time without trying to offend anyone with the light in the club here.
Yeah, I think it was about 50.
Yeah, and that's what you want to be doing?
Yeah. I mean, this is my first weekend back, basically, since the pandemic. I did like one or two like kind of one night things, but this is like my first club back since the pandemic.
Okay. So is there nerves involved in that? Just like, or you like do you feel rusty? I mean, I didn't sense any rust doing an hour.
I've been doing a lot of shows, so but I haven't been doing shows that were that long, but I did go out with Ari last week and I did like 25 minutes, and I was working with Louis before that. I did 20. So at least those, 20 minutes you can get a lot of jokes in. So, and then rotating stuff in and out. But I was a little nervous just because I'm like, I haven't been here in 2 years and I haven't headlined in a while. So it was fun though. The crowd was really fun.
Yeah. How, there was a pair.
Yes.
That left 8 minutes, I think.
I think 8 minutes in, and I think they made the right choice. I think they would have been very upset if they stayed. Because it seemed like, I don't know if they were offended, but by 8 minutes, it wasn't even very offensive. So So I wasn't sure why they left. Maybe they both got their period. I don't know. But as soon as I seen them, I was like, I don't think they're going to like this.
As soon as you saw them when you came out to the stage or outside beforehand?
No, when I came to the stage and I saw them sitting there.
Okay.
I didn't think that my comedy would be for them. And I was right. I don't know what I could have even said in 8 minutes to upset them, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't remember anything that stood out. Was there, but I am curious. Was there any other faces in the crowd that you felt that same way about and you were wrong?
Not really. Everyone else seemed pretty into it. But it was just that couple where I was like, I guess they were a gay couple and she had that really short hair, and that usually is not a big fan of my comedy.
Okay.
That really short hair.
Two women. I was way in the back, so I didn't get to look at them at all.
First of all, if they weren't enjoying the show, they left like the most nice way you can. They just got up and left. Like, they didn't say anything to me.
That's true.
They didn't make a sting.
No.
They didn't scream anything out. So if everyone who wouldn't like my comedy would leave like that, that is the most amazing way. Just to be quiet and leave.
Yeah. What's an example of I guess you just kind of gave some examples, but does one come to mind like, oh, the freaking worst way? And I can picture it right now was when this guy or this girl.
I just like if someone's needs to tell you how much they don't like you. It's like, hey man, that's fine. Just leave.
Yeah.
Like that couple just left and I was like, that's the nicest way anyone could ever leave.
Yeah. But it's also, I mean, there was a chance that maybe they were going to come back, but you were that confident.
They left together unless they were going to go scissor in the bathroom. I felt like if one left, that's just a bathroom thing. But when both left, I was like, oh, I don't think they're coming back.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very
interesting. But they seemed very nice, and I would like to know within the 8 minutes what they could have been offended by, though.
Yeah, right. Do you ever see? Acme doesn't do it, but some clubs do comment cards. Do you ever see that stuff after you've performed like a good negative one? Like, I can't believe she touched on the thing that affects me.
I've never really seen them. I mean, I think I've had an instance where I've been in a club and someone will be upset by a joke and then they'll tell like the manager or something. But I've never seen it on a comment card. But I'm sure they exist.
Sure. Well, the managers love sharing that, because they're always on your side, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they're not, I think they just don't say anything.
I suppose. You had the last time you were here, you had not recorded an album.
So the last time I was here, I did record an album.
Oh, it was not out yet.
I was supposed to tape a special last year, and then everything with the pandemic happened, so then I just put my album out. Because I taped that back in 2018.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
So when the pandemic happened and I wasn't going to tape a special, I was like, well, I'll put this out. So that's actually a couple years old. But the interesting thing is that I guess a lot of it is like evergreen because people couldn't really tell that it was taped previously, like years before.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So I hate to ask, but what was your plan then for the special taping? What was that going to be?
I mean, Patton Oswalt was going to direct it, and then I just have the worst I just never can gain momentum and keep it in this business. Something terrible always happens. Like anytime, like after I did The Degenerates, I was supposed to go on like a tour and then tape that special, and then the first thing I was going to do for the tour got canceled with the pandemic. So I just can't gain momentum.
Jeez. Yeah, that pandemic derailed a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And I guess I just want to know what's going to happen with the Delta variant. Like,
right.
Are we going to go into the same exact thing? I just want to be prepared.
Yeah, as long as among many other things, but please let's not start buying up all the toilet paper again and all that ridiculous crap.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? That actually happened. Where you went in the store, I couldn't find spaghetti sauce. I couldn't find that toilet paper.
Well, I think nobody knew it was going to happen, so you went into the store, and if you got there late, there was like no meat in the aisles, and there was, like you said, there was just nothing there.
It was insane. Mm-hmm. Insane. I also think back that I once walked into when we really didn't know how things were being passed, I went into a store once with like gloves on. And now I think back, like, that was silly. I
wore gloves too, especially in the beginning where you didn't know what was going on. And I just thought you would come into contact with it and you were going to get sick.
Yeah, immediately.
Immediately, yeah. So
I might not make it to my car to get home. Tell my family I love them.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't wear I have like boxes of gloves right now in my house that I'm like, I'll just use them when I clean.
Yeah. I managed to stockpile like once the N95 masks were available again, like early this year, end of last year. I bought them up, so I won't run out.
Yeah, a lot of those masks, the N95 masks, aren't even like the real ones. I think you have to get them from like 3M or something.
Yes.
Did you get the real ones?
I both. I got the
real and the
exactly
fake.
What you're talking about. These crappy, like they fold in the front.
Mm-hmm.
It's like so loose. You could sneeze and the whole thing falls. It will be on the floor.
So I had some of those, which are definitely not the real ones.
No, they're no good. Oh, so how was flying this time? That
fine.
Felt okay?
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
It's just packed again. Nobody's scared anymore. I would like to bring some fear back where people are not flying. I mean, the whole flight was packed.
Yeah. I flew for the first time in a year and a half, about a month and a half, 2 months ago. Yeah, same deal. Like, wow,
just
we're
totally
back.
packed.
Except for masks. Yeah. It's the difference between the last time I was no mask.
Everyone's wearing masks. I thought it was interesting, too, because I'm like, how many people are going to Minneapolis? But the whole plane was packed. Is there like a hub here that goes to other places?
Oh, there are tons of connecting flights.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Because I was like, why is everyone going to Minneapolis? It was like a packed flight.
What do you mean?
I just was hoping that it would be an empty flight.
Yeah, no.
But it was not at all.
Yeah, if that happens a lot here. A lot of connecting flights.
That makes sense. The guy I was sitting near was watching videos on his phone, like an older gentleman, and he was just watching it without headphones, and it was so loud. And I was like, this guy has no idea that you can't do this.
No.
So, I mean, I had my headphones in too, so I couldn't hear it as well. But there was a lady in front of me who just turned around and was like, hey, can you lower that? And he like didn't even realize like what he was doing was wrong. But he did. He like shut it down then.
Did he have his shoes and socks off too? How many other
No.
things
He had like his shoes on. He had his mask down around his nose, kind of like right here, which I like because I also do the same thing.
Yeah, as long as you're not the first.
Yeah, I don't want to be the first. If I see somebody else doing it and it's wrong, I'm all in for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ended up falling asleep. He was a good seatmate. It is weird, like the people that you will sit in close contact with that you will never talk to and never see again.
Yes.
Like random people on planes.
Uh-huh.
Or like even a cab driver.
I totally agree.
That you just come into contact with, you'll never see them again.
Uh-huh.
Maybe you say a couple words to them, maybe you don't.
Yeah. But what if it was the opposite of that? Like, we should stay in touch.
Well, yesterday I had a really chatty Lyft driver.
Okay.
He was nice, though, but he was, like, so chatty. I don't know if I was the first person he talked to, but he was chatty.
When someone asks what you're doing in town?
I'll say work.
Just work?
Yeah. They don't really ask what you do.
Yeah.
He didn't anyway. He was just like, okay.
If you have enough of those conversations and someone says something kind of vague, you're like, they don't want me to follow up.
I think he would have. I think anything I said, he would have yes-anded. Like he was just bubbly and into talking.
I just want to talk to you. I'm so happy that you're in this car with me.
And I got in the car. He had his mask almost all the way off, and then he put it on.
Controversy.
I don't even know. Didn't they say masks don't even help?
I mean, I have a hard time thinking that these paper ones that people are wearing,
Oh, the paper ones are doing nothing.
The paper ones are the ones we were just talking about a moment ago. Like unless it's sealed to your face. Yeah. I mean,
just
I'm not
glued.
an expert, but it doesn't seem like it's really going to help much. It's, a lot of it is, well, I think it's probably like, well, if we get everybody to wear a mask at some sort on their face, at least some of them are going to be doing it correctly. I don't know. I
think it's one of those things where it's just to make people feel better. I don't know if it actually works or not.
Well, there's a lot of that. There's definitely a lot of that. I think you're the same as me in that you sort of enjoyed having being locked at home and not having to go anywhere. For
I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I wish I had a bigger place, but I didn't mind it. I also have a car, so I was able to drive and go hiking and do stuff. Like people that were in Manhattan that were stuck. That's insane to be stuck in a tiny little apartment. People weren't really going on the trains. That's why I think a lot of people left right away.
Sure.
Yeah, a lot of people just kind of left right away. Just smart.
Yeah.
Why do you want to, especially if you have a family that has a big house somewhere, go stay with your family.
Right. How was it having a car? Obviously it was a good.
I've always had a car.
You've always had a car.
Yeah. Where I live, it's probably a 15-minute walk to the train, and from where I live, it's about 34 stops into the city. So it's just not convenient in any way.
34?
Yeah. If I wanted to go all the way down to Greenwich Village where the Comedy Cellar is, it's about 34 stops.
Oh my goodness.
So it's not really convenient. It's kind of suburbish where I live.
Okay.
It's not a suburb, but it's Throgs Neck, so it's not that close. You do need a car.
Yeah. When you drive down to Greenwich Village, then how is it another half an hour to find a place to leave it?
No. You could park. There's parking everywhere.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
Because so few people have cars.
No, a lot of people have cars, but there's a lot of parking around there. You just have to kind of know where to go.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm surprised to hear that. So last time you were here, on stage you were talking about R. Kelly. On the podcast.
Oh, yeah, R. Kelly.
I brought up a little thing about, because coincidentally, he had just been in the news, the day before we talked last time. He had just been indicted or something on some charges here in Minneapolis.
Oh, for what? More kid fucking?
Inappropriate stuff with children, yeah. So,
Jesus.
I know. So then today I was like, what are the chances R. Kelly's still...
Is he back in the news today?
In trouble. Yeah. I'm going to find it here. Yes, he... oh, no. Well, I got to look for it here. In the meantime, while I look for that, I'm going to ask you something else here.
I'm curious to know what he's in there for.
Well, let me find it here. He has gained... He's broke and has gained a ton of weight. That's one of the things.
That sounds like me. Stop. Is he in prison?
Yes! Here we go. I'm looking it up here. We're doing... jury here. He allegedly wed underage Aaliyah.
Oh yeah, Aaliyah. She was 15 when they got married,
yes.
I think.
R&B star R. Kelly gained weight and lost money while he awaits a sex trafficking trial that starts in earnest next week. Still in the news.
That's crazy.
2 years ago, and yes, he is also still in prison. He's pleaded not guilty to racketeering, bribery, coercion, enticement, and sex trafficking.
What's interesting though is in prison, that's where you get in shape. I've always said if I went to prison, that's where I would probably get the most ripped.
Right? I guess the money must be going towards his lawyers or something, because he's not like your...
Or maybe his commissaries if he's eating a lot of food. I'm surprised he's not getting jacked just working out.
Right?
I would think he has to fight off all of the people who are trying to rape him. Maybe that's his plan, get fat so they won't want to attack him.
R. Kelly's ugling himself up.
Maybe. He doesn't look that fat in that picture I seen.
Oh, well, you think he's posing for new pictures?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But that is interesting that he's, I mean, I would assume that how much money he had, he's probably spent a lot of it already.
Probably.
Like buying people off and spending all this money on lawyers.
Yeah. I'm crossing my fingers that the next time you come back here, he's in the news again. I just feel like it's bound to happen.
He might just be in the news forever.
I think it's bound to happen. So I have 3 daughters, 15, 13, and almost turning 2.
Wow, that is a big gap between that last kid and that kid.
What happened?
Is that another marriage?
That's correct.
That makes sense.
Divorced, remarried, new baby. Yes. So my 13-year-old is now listening to gangster rap.
How do you feel about that?
I don't care. I don't care at all. But I'm curious. But see, here's the thing. So she's listening to NWA.
She's listening to real rap, at least.
Dope Man. She's been playing it. I'm going to play Dope Man. Dope Man. And she like does the lyrics and stuff. She leaves out the N-word, thankfully. And
yes. That could be problematic.
Yeah. But in Tupac, she's into Tupac.
Tupac's great.
Yeah. But it's like this stuff, like NWA, like the stuff she's listening to, like came out when I was almost her age. It's just so crazy. Like I'm sure my parents went through this with like I got into the Beatles.
Yeah, but it's better than her listening to like new rap now. That's not as good.
Oh, it's terrible. I don't care if it makes me sound 1,000 years old. It is terrible.
Is she getting the 2-year-old into it?
So my wife also likes Tupac, and the 2-year-old.
Tupac was very hot.
The 2-year-old smiles and dances when hip hop is on. It's got a great beat.
Great beat.
Yeah.
Fun music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's not learning to speak listening to it, I don't think, thankfully.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yes, when she's 12, clearly this is when that really kicks in. Like my daughter is listening to it now. But, so was that something you were into?
I mean, when I was growing up, I guess I liked the music that I was coming up with, like Biggie, Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
I remember being so shocked when my boyfriend at the time told me Wu-Tang was like 8 people. And I was like, what? My mind was blown. But that's the music I kind of listened to when I was like, that's what was popular when I was a kid. So that's why I listened to a lot of that stuff. But I still love that music. It's probably like my favorite hip hop music.
It's good. It's good.
It's good fight music too.
Good fight music?
Like, if you're going to get into a fight or you need to work out, that's the best music to listen to.
Yeah, it really gets you going. I had friends that I hung out with back then that knew all the names of everybody in Wu-Tang in addition to like their backgrounds and their albums and stuff, and that went way over my head.
There's a pretty good documentary out about Wu-Tang that I watched during the pandemic.
Oh, very
might
good
have been on HBO maybe. I don't remember where, or Netflix.
Okay,
it's pretty good though.
I gotta look for that.
Yeah.
So my daughter's listening to NWA, and then it's just crazy how these things sort of like how I said, R. Kelly. We proved that R. Kelly's still in the news. So I
didn't even know that.
Yeah, so I'm looking at this news story trending on Twitter. Icecube, who was in NWA. Have you seen why people are upset with him right now?
No, what'd he do?
He has a 38-year-old daughter who is homeless and living in her vehicle. And she is saying that he supported me until last year and has stopped, and now I'm working for Uber Eats and I can't survive.
I mean, he supported her till she's 37. I mean, yeah, get a grip. That's insane. My biological father, I don't think he's given my mother a penny for me. Like, 37 years old? She had to know this day was coming.
She has 4 kids.
Where are their fathers? Like, get money from them. I don't know. I just feel like he shouldn't have to give her money the rest of his life.
So people, there's obviously, it's social media.
Of course, so everyone's probably outraged.
There's outrage on both sides. People are going, Beats by Dre cost $20 to make and he sold them for $200. Buy your daughter a house, You're worth, somebody claims he's worth,
Wait, Icecube or Dre?
I'm sorry, not Icecube. Dre. Dr. Dre, that's what I was talking about. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I had it
okay.
confused the whole time. Not Icecube. Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre has a daughter, whatever, same group. But yeah. I was saying Icecube, I'm sorry.
Dre. I'd be interested to know how much money he was giving her these 37 years.
I did not see that, but that would be interesting. I know. Was it like $200,000 a year?
Yeah, or was it $30,000 a year?
$200 a year.
Yeah, that would, because I would just think at some point you have to think this is going to run out. And you should save some money.
I would think so. A lot of the comments I saw on Twitter, people were like, I don't care how old my children are. If they're on hard times, I will support them no matter what.
You know what, though? Like, I have a friend who's like had some hard times and like his father has helped him out a lot. And at some point you just reach a place where you can't help them anymore. Like, you've given them a ton of money, you've helped them. Like, at some point you just need to hit a rock bottom.
Yeah.
To be able to get better, you know, because like this girl's not that young.
So, I mean, do you think that maybe if we got to dig a little deeper that it would come out like, maybe she had a lot to do with things not working out, you know? Like,
she might, look, I feel bad that she's living in her car. Is she doing, you said Uber Eats or Uber?
Uber Eats delivery.
Oh, okay, because I don't think it'd be easy to do Uber while having 4 kids in the car also.
Oh, they are not staying with her. They're staying with friends.
Oh, okay. So she's basically just by herself.
Yes.
It's weird. She doesn't have any friends that would take her in.
Right?
Where's the rest of her network?
I know.
I don't know. I mean,
dad or nobody.
I would be interested to know how much money she's gotten from him.
Right.
But he's also paying a shit ton of money to his ex-wife.
Yes.
So it's like, how many people do you have to keep giving money to?
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you give her one more check or something and you're like, this is really it. Like, if you're in your car next year, I don't care.
Yeah. How about I just buy you a bigger car to live in?
Also, not everyone even has a car to live in.
True.
You know, some people are just really slumming it out in the streets.
That is, yeah.
And they would love a car to sleep in.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Well, before we are done here, we have to talk about, and we did it last time, and now, I don't remember if you were doing it on stage then, but you're reading the
Tinder stories.
Yes.
I don't know if I did it last time.
You don't know if
I don't think so.
Doing it on stage. So let me just say that right off the bat that genius idea to be reading those on stage because the material is too good to not share with as many people as possible.
Yeah, I only want to do like 5 to 6 minutes of it because I don't want it to be like my whole act.
No, I agree.
But it is really fun. It's weird because I feel like people will let me go darker in that than they will in my material sometimes. And it's weird to me that that's okay, but they'll get offended by jokes.
Because, I mean, that is interesting because you're actually messing with real people.
I know, and there's real emotions involved and they're okay with that. But as opposed to if I do a joke and it's a little dark, they might be a little bit more taken back by it. So I don't know what that is.
Interesting.
But yeah, they'll let me be as dark as I want in those things. And people will be like all for it.
So if the people haven't seen it, you have now an Instagram account, Okay Stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And you create dating, you go on dating sites and try to match with people and then basically just screw with them, see how far they'll go.
It is interesting to see what guys will put up with just to get fucked. Like, you would think that, I guess I should ask if I could curse. I think I've cursed a bunch.
You absolutely can.
I think it's crazy the stuff that they will just like red flags that they will just keep coming because they think they're going to have sex with someone. It's so crazy. Like, I remember someone said they tried doing that to women and it just doesn't work because women don't want to get banged that bad.
Oh, I mean, that doesn't surprise me at all.
No, yeah. Because like someone
all.
was like, you should also do it with women. I'm like, I just don't think it'll be as, I don't know. I don't think it'll be as good.
No. And as a guy, I mean, yeah, we are ripe to be taken advantage of with what you're doing, and most deserve it.
It's so crazy how far people will let you go with it. Because you just think this person's never going to go for this, and then they just do. And sometimes they'll just ignore it and just like keep going to hoping to bring it back to like sex.
Is there a certain time of day where you're getting better? Like, when are people more active when is their horniness more active on a
probably
dating
late
site?
at night, I would assume. And that's kind of when I get home from stand up and I'll do it a bunch.
Is that when? I love it.
Yeah, I stopped doing it for a while just because it made me sad. That guys are so gross.
Yeah.
Like the levels of what they're willing to put up with, it made me sad as a woman.
We have a friend that was doing that. She was like selling her like used underwear and socks and stuff to.
I've heard of used underwear. I have never heard of socks.
Oh yeah. Oh, the stinkier you get them, send pictures of you running in them. Guys would buy her new shoes, like Virgin shoes, to
go get a run in them.
So they're the only one that gets to enjoy
I've
that
never
stink.
heard of that.
Yes.
I've heard of people with the dirty underwear. I've never heard of like dirty socks.
Oh yeah.
That's
shoes,
a thing.
Socks, yes. Wow. Yes. And she's telling us about this. I'm just like, how doesn't it, like, it makes my skin crawl just you're actually have to correspond with these people. Like, ugh.
I would just let my boyfriend wear socks and then send them. That's what I would do. I would just get like the track team to wear them and then give me them. Yeah, right. And then just sell them. That's so gross.
I know.
That's so weird. Yeah. I've never heard of socks.
Oh yeah. It is. I promise you, it is real and disturbing.
Wow. She probably makes a pretty penny.
She's not doing it anymore. But that's what I just kept thinking, like, and just like what you're doing, like, it's real. Like, it's a real person. Like,
it's for the purpose of seeing like how far I can get with some of them, and like some of them will really go so far.
And you've been kicked off social media because of this?
Not social media, but I've gotten kicked off of Tinder quite a few times. I don't think I could even go back on Tinder. Like I have gotten kicked off so many times that they are just like, no.
And you were at one point you used your own picture, correct?
I was using my own picture, and then my now boyfriend was like, hey, like, you're a public figure. You shouldn't be doing that. So then I was just using,
right.
I know. And then I was just using other people's photos.
People you know?
No.
Oh, that would be even funnier.
People I have no idea who they are. Yeah. But yeah, he was like, you can't do that. Like, you're a public person. I was like, yeah, I guess you're right. I shouldn't do that.
So I was thinking about this. It's even, when I was a kid, the thing that you could do to mess with people was prank calls.
Yes.
And then those kind of died out because you had to get, when people started like doing them like for radio shows and stuff and television, like you got to get the person's permission to play their, audio, right? But what you're doing, they stay anonymous.
Yeah, I mean, no one knows who they are.
No one knows who they are.
Yeah,
that's what's so great about it.
I crop their pictures out and their names and stuff, so no one knows who they are. It's weird. I haven't run into anyone that has just been like, hey, is this Adrienne? Because I would assume that I would run into somebody at some point that would know it was me doing it. But I haven't gotten anyone yet.
Nothing.
That
isn't. Yeah, I was actually thinking about that too. Do you stay? I don't know. I'm ignorant about Twitter. It goes by like
region.
Where you are, location, right? So when you're doing this, it's people sort of near where you are, or can you match with any? Like, I'm in New York, but I'm matching with Idaho.
I think it depends how many miles you put on it, and then sometimes if somebody matches with you and you'll go back to the message, but now they're in Idaho, you'll see them. But generally, it's like within like 50 to 100 miles of where you are.
Yeah.
So like if I did it here, I'd probably get people from here, and then if I went back to New York. And they wrote to me, that's how they'd be like, oh, you're much further away.
Yeah. Oh, God, you could even work that. Like, if you buy a ticket right now, I will be waiting for you.
Guys are so gross.
One of the ones we talked about last time, I got to bring it up again because it's so great. I'm sure you'll remember this. It was, you got a guy, I don't think he ended up following through, but you were giving him a grocery list.
Oh, yeah, stuff to buy for me.
Yeah. And he was like, well, if you give me the money.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not giving you the money. What's the point of this? But it was like probably 100 things.
Yes. Like, it was like, I need 2 pounds of meat. And
it was clearly for a barbecue or something. I was going to have him bring stuff to me. It was all like hot dogs and hamburgers and like onions and ketchup and mustard. That was a fun one. But I bet if I gave him the money, he might have showed up, or he would have just taken the money.
I mean, maybe it's time to get some of your fans of that account to pitch in a little money. Let's see how far a little money can help this go.
I don't know. I don't want to get money involved. I think that would only up the creepers.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Which could even improve the material.
Possibly. That's true.
Yeah. Do you have a final? Like, is this the most you want to do with that? Is just keep doing, do them for a while, put them on social media?
No, I want to turn them into a book.
You do?
So that's why I kind of created the account so I could put them in a book.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's what I've been trying to work on, putting those together. Because it is funny how people respond to those so much.
Yeah.
It's weird to me.
They're awesome. I'm also thinking, we had to talk about how, last time we were here, about how, like my daughters are getting older, dating, how scummy guys can be. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, my girls are very active on, TikTok and all that bull crap.
Yeah.
I do need them to follow that account.
You should. So real. They can see how gross guys are.
Yes. I think they have Instagram accounts.
What are they, 13 and 15?
Yes.
Yeah, the 15-year-old's definitely out there dating.
Yeah. She has a little boyfriend.
Does she?
Uh-huh.
How do you talk to her about it? Are you like, no sex? Or are you one of the people that realizes she might have sex and you want her to be careful?
I'm sort of, I have my not my ex-wife, my current wife. Her stepmom is having good conversations with her about that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because coming from you is weird.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it is weird when parents are like, you can't have sex before you get married, and then kids just go out and do it and have no knowledge of what they're doing.
I mean, I could give her a whole list of don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Here, these are my rules.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. I used to have a friend that her parents were really strict Italians, and like they wouldn't let her do anything. And she's definitely the one that got pregnant, and then had to have an abortion behind their back. And it's like,
I will tell you, since you asked about this, we know. It's even weird for me to say out loud. We know about some of the sexual activity of some of her classmates already.
Well, I think now with just the internet, kids are like having sex so much faster. And I was told that kids will wear bracelets for what level of sex they're willing to do.
Ugh.
Like, I don't know what the colors correspond to the act, but I don't know if that's something that's like old and they don't do anymore, but there was a school by me where I used to let my dog run in the park where someone told me like the kids are wearing different colors for like what levels of sex they'll do.
Oh, I forgot to tell you the first rule I gave to my daughters was no jewelry. So
good.
There's no bracelets.
Good.
Yeah. Ugh, yeah, boy. But I guess that's a, I mean, I'm learning like stuff like that all the time. There's have you heard that if someone has a shaved thing in their eyebrow, that means they like boys and girls?
Oh, no, I have never heard that.
Me neither until a few days ago. Apparently that's a thing.
How did you find that out? She told you, or you found it on the interweb?
My wife told me because my daughter told her.
That if you have a shaved...
Like it means you put a line in it or something.
That means you like guys and girls.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's probably better for her just to like girls right. At this point.
Yeah.
She can't get pregnant.
I wouldn't be against that.
No.
Nope.
It's when you add the guys in too, that's when that's the problem.
Right. Guys. Now, yeah.
It's scary to have kids now.
Yeah. 2-year-old though. She's not on the internet yet. No social media for her.
Good for her.
Yeah.
When do you think she'll start? At 5?
Well, I'm going to upgrade. No, in 2 months when I upgrade to a new iPhone.
You're going to give her your old one?
I'm kidding. No.
Oh, my God.
No,
She'll just be on Tinder?
No, and I mean, let's be honest. I can't afford to upgrade. I'll be...
Whenever I finish paying off a phone finally, it just breaks.
Yeah, I'm for real like 3 months away from that. Well, this will be broken in 3 months when it's paid off.
It sucks.
I also feel like I've been paying my monthly payments on this thing for like 6 years, and it never goes down when I check the balance.
Because when you do, you then end up buying a new one, and then you start it all over again. It's like car leases.
I hate that
end.
They don't do it like how they used to, where we used to go into the stores, get a free phone, and be done.
Not anymore.
No, not anymore. So is there anything else we should be talking about? How are you using your social media these days? Let's kind of end with that.
I don't know. I'm just putting stuff I think that's funny, and sometimes I even take a break from it because I just don't want to be checking it all day.
Yeah.
I think it's like the devil. It's the worst. It's like a huge time suck.
Yeah. When you get up in the morning, how soon are you looking at Instagram, Twitter, whatever?
I think with not posting as much, I don't look at it as often. But like as soon as I start posting things, then I'm looking at it. So just kind of like taking a break from it.
Yeah.
Like post shows and maybe like some funny clips other than that, or like podcasts I'm on.
Yeah.
Other than that, just kind of stay off of it.
For sure. Well, I hope things don't take a turn for the worse of
Me
touring
too.
and everything. I definitely want you to be able to get out there and do as many shows as you want to and not have it affected by all the shit going on in the world.
Yeah, I hope so too.
So.
I'm coming back for Crash and Burn.
Yes. Has that been announced yet?
Oh, am I not allowed to say that?
For real? Okay,
okay.
because I was like, should I even bring that up? You're going to be, so guess what?
Guess what?
You're going to do this podcast again. In a couple,
Yay! So wait, all four of us are going to do it?
We'll do 2. You'll do it with, I'm not sure, one of the other participants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we'll do, same half hour, but it'll
Cool.
be different than this. I got my whole Crash and Burn stuff I talk about. I've
Nice.
done Crash and Burn podcasts for 9 years.
Wow.
Talking to the participants, so I think I know what to ask about then.
Ooh.
But since you just said that, what are your thoughts about that right now? You are going to do Crash and Burn.
I am doing Crash and Burn. I think it's going to be cool. Just trying to get some new material out there and seeing if it crashes or not. Yeah, I'm excited to do it. Just like pump out 20 minutes of material. We'll see if it's good or crap.
Now, we have spies all around that will be keeping an eye on you to see if you're practicing any material before.
Oh, I'm not going to be practicing any material. I'm one of the few comics that's okay with not doing well. So if I crash, I'll be like, this is part of the show. Someone had a crash and burn.
Right. You don't want to... Yeah, right.
I still don't understand. Am I supposed to come up with 20 minutes that day, or is it jokes I've just never done?
Never done. Oh,
okay.
no, you can, you can absolutely go dig out your notebook from 5 years ago with that thought that you never completed, the joke that you never,
Oh, okay, that's good.
Oh, yes.
Because I was like, what am I going to do? Just come up with 20 minutes of garbage that day?
Yeah, no. Just stuff you haven't been doing on stage.
Okay.
That's the rule. Stuff you haven't
That's
been doing on
fair.
stage. Yeah. The crowds here can help you with throughout the week.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yep. I'm glad that's coming up and that you're part of it. That's going to be fantastic. So until then, come and see the polished and rehearsed hour here at Acme. Vag podcast.
Yeah.
Done for good?
It's
Coming
not done
back?
for good. It's just we couldn't figure out a way to make money off of it. We're doing it for so long. So I love Sarah. I think we have the best time together.
Yeah.
It's just on hiatus until it makes sense.
Okay.
But yeah, we could always pick it back up. It's not like we had a big falling out and I fucked her husband or something. Do you know what I mean? Like we're just taking a break.
You don't have some other announcement for that.
No other announcement. We're just going on hiatus for a bit.
Fair enough.
But it could come back at any moment. So, people start requesting it. We'll do it again.
Right on. I like it. I listened just because I do so much prepping, I listened to like the last 4 that you did.
Oh, nice.
Yes. I love the fact that you said, you guys talked about the Brittany Spears documentary, and I love that you said, I feel like I could be friends with her.
I do feel bad for her.
Most people should.
That conservatorship is insane.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they let her have access even to her fans. Like through like social media and stuff.
Well, that's her only... That's how people can decipher her cries for help.
I know, but I'm surprised that they even let her have that.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, you can have Twitter, but you can't have any money.
That's so crazy that she has like no control over her own money. And like her videos are getting crazier and crazier. Like now she's posing with like no shirt on, just holding her tits.
What?
I know.
I didn't see this one.
It's on Instagram, not on Twitter. It's the saddest picture too. It reminds me of like those pictures that those commercials they use for like feed the hungry kids. That's kind of what she looks like. Yes, just because her face is so sad like that, where you're like, I want to give her 40 cents.
Your 42 cents can help Brittany
get some clothes.
Get some clothes.
She has no clothes. She has to hold her tits.
That's a perfect way to end this one. Thank you, Adrienne.
Thanks for having me.
You're so funny. Thank you very much. Boom. We're done.